Welcome everyone to the Golden Drop. My name is Sharon MacDonald and I am going to be introducing our host today. This is an exciting day for us, and if you're joining us live and you're by phone, just go ahead and mute yourself on your side so that if you have a question later, we can address that by having you just unmute yourself. If we mute you, we never know if you have a question. So thank you for joining us. Anybody else, just be aware that you are on camera, and if you need your camera to be off and your picture to be up, go ahead and just click off the video. We want to thank every single one of you for joining us. The Golden Drop was designed specifically to bring anybody to the essential oil table, to have them see how people are using essential oils on a day-to-day basis. Get some tips and tricks that aren't normal, things you're not going to read in a book or maybe even read on a blog. So we put this Golden Drop call together for people to be able to utilize so that you guys never waste your money when you're using essential oils. So today we are going to have a beautiful guest, Tanya Sanders from Arizona. And before we get started with her, I wanted to just say welcome to the FDA or the FTC. We want to remind you that this is not a place for us to prescribe or diagnose. We simply are just a bunch of wonderful people getting together to talk about essential oil application and how to use those little simple tips and tricks that aren't normal, just like we said earlier. So without any more ado, we want to introduce Tanya. Tanya Sanders is a delightful woman from Arizona who has had a lot of essential oil application experience. And she was telling me a story and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a Golden Drop moment. Do you want to co-host with me? And she said, sure. So she's going to share that tip with us today. So without any further ado, Miss Tanya, the floor is yours. Welcome.
Hi, thanks so much for inviting me. I'm happy to be here. It's so fun. I was sharing a story with Sharon the other day, and I've heard about it, and I don't share it very often because it's kind of one of those embarrassing things you don't talk about, that kind of icky stuff that gets in your toes that you don't want anybody to see or think about. And what happened was, in a nutshell, I was romping around with my giant nephew, and he kind of stomped on my toe, and it turned black and blue immediately. And over the next few weeks, the toenail, it was my big toe, the toenail kind of lifted up. And I was like, dang it, that stinks, because I like to get my toenails done, and I'm a flip-flop queen. So as time went on, the nail kind of lifted up just a little bit, but it wasn't falling off. And it started looking really yucky, like I knew something wasn't going on. Something wasn't right there. So after about probably 6-7 months of waiting for it to grow out, I finally went to a podiatrist, and he says, yeah, this is what you have going on. You can have an ointment, but it doesn't really work. And you could freeze it off, but chances are it's not going to grow back right, and it'll grow back with the same condition. And by the way, insurance doesn't cover it. It's probably going to cost like $700. So, oh my gosh, I have essential oils. Why am I not trying to do this? So I had been putting apple cider vinegar on it because somebody had told me that would work really well. And I put it on every single day, and I will say it helped. The nail looked healthier, but it wasn't enough. So I started researching. I was in this book, The Modern Essentials, and then I was in this book, The Essential Life. Both of them. Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, the light's funny. And I was in both of those, and then I jumped online onto Go Green Essentials, and I was asking for input, and a lot of different people said different things worked for them. And over the next probably another whole year, I tried different things that, again, helped but didn't help a lot. Wasn't enough. Things I tried that worked for other people: Purify and Melaleuca, Frankincense, Oregano, and Arborvitae. So what I decided to do was make a cocktail, and I put it in this little spray bottle, And I put, let's see, 20 drops of Melaleuca, 10 drops of Arborvitae, 10 drops of Oregano, and 10 drops of Frankincense. Again, that's 20 Melaleuca, 10 of Arborvitae, Oregano, and Frankincense. And I filled the rest up with this, just coconut oil. And I just bought one of these for like 40 cents, a little glass spray bottle. And what I did was twice a day when I would shower in the morning and then again at night, I would just spray real quick and leave it. And it immediately changed. It immediately started growing out healthy, and the stuff that was underneath my nail went away, and the nail reattached, and it grew right out. It was just like, I was like, oh my gosh, look at my nail, look at my nail, look at my nail. And I remember telling my husband the day I went and I clipped it the last time, and I'm like, look, there's no discoloration, there's no yucky stuff going on, look, look, look. He's like, oh my gosh, it's a toenail, I see, it's a toenail. But it was really exciting for me because it was almost 2 years that it took. But yeah, I'm telling you, keep trying different stuff, because and sometimes you got to make up a little cocktail, but this worked awesome for me, and it was immediate when I put them all together. It was amazing. I will also add that I use this on my daughter. Ever since she was little, she would get a little bit of where your foot's kind of, that condition where your foot's kind of healing, and when you wear tennis shoes too much or you swim and you're out of the pool a lot. And I started putting this on, and it also, I just sprayed it on her feet after a bath or shower, and it healed her feet very quickly. So, and now every time that kind of resurfaces, because it can, we just spray it on, and it's great. So I wanted to share that with you guys, because I know, especially being a girl that likes to wear flip-flops, it's not something you want to talk about. Yeah, it was a long story, but I'm happy. Thank God for essential oils.
Right? I mean, seriously, so can you do me a favor? Let's have Renee type it in very slowly into the chat so everyone has that little spray concoction you made. Do you mind just saying the recipe one more time so Renee can put it in there, please?
Sure. It was 20 of Melaleuca, and then 10 of each Arborvitae, Oregano, and Frankincense. And then I filled the rest of this, it's just a small little one, with coconut oil.
Awesome. Does anybody have any questions for Tanya on this before we move to Q&A?
It's like Teresa does.
I found it. Can you put that in a roller ball?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
The thing with that though is, if you have something going on that may spread, if you put it in a roller bottle, the tip of that roller bottle, if you put it directly on that area, I don't know if you could cross-contaminate. You know what I mean?
Good idea.
So maybe if you do a roller bottle, I would maybe put it on your finger and then put it on the area.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wonderful. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. That's so incredible. Honestly, people that is such a chronic problem sometimes for many people. And once you have it, it's like nothing seems to help it. And it is such an embarrassing situation. So so 2 full years, huh?
Yeah, it was 2 years in August.
Wow. And so how long have you been able to be free of that then?
It was probably right around May or June. So I probably used it consistently for about a year, from the time I started using it until it grew out consistently. Yeah,
right.
It was a year.
Wonderful. Oh my gosh, that is just incredible. And so have you been able to go back and get your toes done in a pedicure? I
have. I kind of do my own toes a lot more now, though, because I don't know where it got contaminated. So,
Right.
yeah, but yeah, I can. But yeah, my toes are done right now.
Right. Good. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us, Tanya. It's always a pleasure to hear from you guys. So anyone that would love to co-host one of these, just give us a call and let us know. All of your leaders are involved in this, so just give us a call. Write Renee, write me, write Nora, write Jody, anybody, and just ask to join this because it's open to everyone. I mean, we have people from not even in our organization that watch and listen and participate. So we just really want to thank all of you for being here and joining us for this. So thank you for being here.
Hey, Sharon, we lost you at the picture.
Oh, you lost me at the picture? So there's no picture?
No.
Oh, okay. That's weird. Let me find out why.
There you are.
Am I back?
Yep.
Okay, that's so bizarre. Okay. Huh. There we go. I'm glad that you told me. Okay, so a quick question for Nora. We're going into Q&A. And Nora, did you get my message?
Yes.
Nora, did you get my message?
I did. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Do you have an answer for us on that question, or do you need just a few more minutes?
I have it. I knew. So dark circles on the eyes usually is a liver issue. So cleansing the liver with Zindocrine is the best thing. It's not going to be a topical application. It's sometimes they just need a quick little flush. Other times it's a couple of times of using the Zindocrine capsules with the Zindocrine oil that helps with those dark circles.
And so on the oil and can you kind of tell us like how to take the capsules versus the soft gels? Do you have a trick that you'd like to share with us on that?
Well, the capsules, it's so funny. We're talking about that today in vitality. The class number 2 is about vitality. So they talked about Zindocrine. So I have them right here. Zindocrine capsules right here. See? So we've got the capsule. They break open if you need to because you don't take it very well. So here's that. You can open it up. This is what you take morning and night.
Okay.
You use the oil, Zindocrine oil. This is where people get confused. They're like, well, there's 2 Zindocrines. Which one do I take? You take both. It's just how you do it when you do it. So the Zindocrine is, the capsules is morning and night because that opens up the shoots, right? The oil, if you use the oil and make your own capsules or buy the soft gels, whatever you want to do, that flushes it. Now, Sharon, I've heard you say that you take the oil at night, and then I've read where you can do it during the day. Is there a right or wrong of timing on that?
I don't think so. The only reason why I think Dr. Hill is the one that gave the instruction to take it at nighttime. And after being in a conversation with him, I think the only reason why it would be at nighttime is because that's when the body goes through its check system. And when you said flush, that's when it's like, okay, I'm going through my check. Okay, now we're flushing all these toxins out. So I don't really honestly think there's a good way or a right way or a wrong way to do it. I just know that nighttime is when the body does its systems check. So
and I would have a hard time taking this at lunchtime anyway. I'm usually, my routine is morning and night and then oils throughout the day of just whatever, but a regular routine.
Yeah.
Usually, I don't know. That's just me though. Anyway, that's your 2 things that I would recommend for someone with dark circles under their eyes.
Can I add one thing to that?
Mm-hmm.
With that, so topically over the eye, right here, down here below the eye where the circle is, there's 2 things that I would add. When Roman chamomile comes back, December 3rd or 1st, it's the 1st, right? So on the 1st, when you get Roman chamomile, if you put Roman chamomile down here under the eye, right here, it will help to start stimulate repair on the subdermal and dermal level. And then if you can tolerate it, I love it for when I have puffy eyes. I put a little aroma touch down here, right? And in that aroma touch, it creates circulation because of the cypress inside. And it just kind of, it's a little bit like Botox, okay? So think how Botox, you know, when people use Botox injections, it puffs up the skin. Basically what it's doing is it's oxygenating that area so it, you know, fluffs it up. So it's quite nice. So that's something you can do with essential oils topically. But I love that you brought up the internal aspect, because so often, right, Nora, what we experience on the outside is what's going really on the inside, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The other question was the hand, foot, mouth.
Yep.
And that's tough because those little blisters hurt. And to
Yeah.
put the oils on them, some kids are going to fight depending on the age, but it's going to be On Guard, and Melaleuca helps support that and dilute it and put it in a, you've got to swab it into the mouth if they have sores in the mouth. A lot of them do, right? I mean, my kids were little, or darn, I wish I had the essential oils, but mostly it's the kids because we just touch everything. Everything goes in the mouth. But once in a while, an adult will get it, but they can handle the Melaleuca and On Guard on it. But of course, you're going to dilute it because On Guard's hot.
So do you think maybe that would be a good idea to use the what's it called? The doTERRA Touch oils for that?
Yes.
Yeah. Because you could then
have those. You know, some people think I don't need those. I just got the oil. But that's why the convenience of the kids using it. But if you just have Melaleuca and On Guard, make your own. But of course, the touch is going to be the perfect solution.
Right, because you could put the touch on your finger and rub it inside a mouth of a child.
Yes.
And it would be pre-diluted already, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Same with topical. You know, one thing I did, Nora, I don't know if anybody on the call has another thought, but I actually needed to make a spray bottle, and I was like, I didn't have any fractionated coconut oil. I was out. I ended up finding a 5-gallon bucket that I have of it later, but I didn't have any at that moment. So I actually emptied half of the On Guard and half Melaleuca into, and some lavender from the doTERRA Touch bottles to create this spray bottle that I needed. So start thinking creatively of like, what tools do I have right now that I can use? And for me, that was the answer. Was it how I wanted to use my doTERRA Touch? No, but it was all I had, because I didn't want to put olive oil in there because olive oil goes rancid, right? So, and it makes it really thick and it doesn't come out of the nozzle very well. So anyway, I love that you brought that up. So either straight. What about geranium for the skin ones? You could put geranium in the mouth too, but what do you know about geranium, adding it to hand, foot, and mouth stuff? Nora?
I have not done that. And just because mostly it's kids, they can handle On Guard, Melaleuca, but geranium is just a little more astringent, medicinal in the taste anyway. So the smell. Yeah. But if you're an adult, do it.
Right. So ending on that note, let's see if we've got any other questions here that need to be answered. I think Sandy had a question. Nora, you want to tag team on this one on sandalwood, the difference between Hawaiian sandalwood, and anybody else can jump into this discussion. So raise your hand if you have a tip. But Nora, the question was, what's the difference between regular sandalwood and Hawaiian sandalwood?
Well, I know that Dr. Hill, when he introduced Hawaiian sandalwood, it was higher in the content than the regular one from India. It was higher, and I don't know the chemistry name. Do you know the chemistry name? Is it linalool?
I think it's linalool, but when you look at if you get in the Modern Essentials book where it shows the diagram of the chemistry of that essential oil, or you look it up, you'll be able to see which one's higher. I used to have a diagram of it a long time ago, but I have no idea what file folder that got put in. But yeah, it's one of the chemical constituents in it that's higher, and it is better than the one from India. For sure. So what are some other things about the Hawaiian sandalwood is a little bit different of a color too. You'll see a difference in that. So really it's the chemistry, right, Nora?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, for sure. And so it doesn't mean one is better than the other one. I don't think so. I think it's truly how the body reacts, because you could have one experience with sandalwood, regular sandalwood, and then try the Hawaiian, and it's just going to chemically do something different in your body. So you're going to find your sweet spot. My favorite place to use sandalwood is the back of my neck and my heart. What about you, Nora?
Sandalwood, I just use it topically, and I just on location where I needed it. I haven't used it as any emotions or anything.
It's awesome for meditation. For those of you who are learning to meditate or do affirmation work, this is a really good one if you're working through some emotional blocks, especially those ones that are really deep-seated, that are very difficult for you to maybe verbalize. It's not going to make you verbalize it, but it will help you kind of calm down the emotions and allow that space for healing, on an emotional level.
So one thing with the Hawaiian sandalwood, everyone, is that it will run out, and when it's out because our supplier in Hawaii passed away, and the people that were taking it over were not going to keep up the doTERRA standards. So unfortunately, we will not always have Hawaiian sandalwood.
No. Do you guys want to know a story around the Hawaiian sandalwood, which was really cool? Raise your hand if you want to hear that story really fast. Okay. So what was cool about it is there was a war back in the day between the natives, okay? And the king, over the sandalwood, the king cut all of them down, and the trees, and the stumps were what was left. And that's what this gentleman found and started chipping it up. And he had the most miraculous, because it's a holy tree in Hawaii. It's a sacred tree for them, as is with other people, but specifically with the Hawaiians, this was a very sacred tree for them. So to find it and to start cultivating it was a really big deal for this gentleman. And he had the most technical system built on hardly anything. He was a beautiful man. And so it was a pity that we lost him, because he really had a vision. And you can watch that video from Dr. Pappas anytime. So just Google it, Dr. Pappas, Hawaiian sandalwood, and you can watch this man in action and how he did it. And as Nora said, the new people that have it are synthetically pulling the essential oil out. And that's why doTERRA is like, we'll never use that. It doesn't meet our constituents, so our chemistry requirements. Love that. All right. There was another question. Kids, let's come in here. What oils can be used for a 4-year-old to drink water, in their water? All right. Who wants to answer this on here? Who's got a good idea? Anybody brave enough to tackle this? Any thoughts? Okay. All right. Nora, do you want to tackle this, or do you want me to?
I'll tell you my opinion is because, I've not had any children under 6 since starting using oils. My youngest is 11. She was 6 when we started. So we could use oils every which way. But, the best for these little bodies is the feet and the spine. Because oils are potent, and I would just stick to that until they get a little older. That's just my opinion and my experience. They have taken oils internally, but just regularly, I've never done that.
Yeah.
I have young children.
Yeah.
So on young children, I would just stick with the feet and spine.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Miriam, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have young children. My youngest is 4, and we use wild orange and lemon and peppermint even, but, that's for like stomach issues. But they drink it, and they love it, and those are the oils that they like, lemon and wild orange.
Right. The peppermint beadlets and on guard beadlets came out when Micah was 3.5 going on 4. And they just popped that in their mouth, and it was only when we were coming down with something. So Micah was my youngest. He's the one that's been on essential oils from the time he was born. So that's been our experience. But I agree with Nora that, if we're going to be putting essential oils on, they don't really need it internally unless it's like in the IQ Mega. There's wild orange in there, right, to flavor it. And it's super diluted. And there's little tiny systems. Just remember, they're little people. And so you just want to be careful. So like Miriam is saying, she's adding it to their water, but it's just a teeny tiny bit. So you can even like dip the cap of an essential oil in and get some oil in their water. But flavoring the water, you could even take some of those new PB Assist Plus, the PB Assist Plus packets, and put a tiny bit in their water to flavor their water. And it tastes good. We had one of our kids did that the other day. Our kids drink water, but if you've got a hard time getting a child to drink water and you want them to drink it, you could put a little bit of that and kill two birds with one stone. Just an idea. Just a thought. So, okay, I'm going to end with my story, and I want to thank every single one of you. Thanks, Nora, for joining us. I see you're at the center there in Arizona. It looks lovely in there, and so glad that you joined us today. And thank you, Tanya, again for being here. And Renee, we could never do this without you. It's so good to always have a backup in case the system is bad. So here's my story on geranium. So, I've talked to you guys about before that to help my system run properly, since I had a fundoplication, it's got another name, but basically it's an esophageal wrap. They cleaned up a hiatal hernia, and then they used my tissue around that to make after they pulled my stomach out of my esophagus, they wrapped it up with some tissue to make my esophagus smaller so that I didn't have acid always coming up into my esophagus. And so one of the things that I found to help my stomach system and my digestive system work properly is 15 drops of grapefruit in the morning and 15 drops at night. And I can't tell you how many times I've gotten messages, that's a lot of essential oil. But I found that that's my sweet spot. And when I do that, I don't have the issues that I've had, which is bloating and terrible gas, burping. If I'm having that, then I know what's happening. And here's what it is. It's stimulating glutathione production from the liver. And so whatever that glutathione is doing in my stomach, it's helping me. So my practice is every morning I get up. Well, it was dark. It was Thursday, the first day of convention in Salt Lake City. And I reached in my oil packet, and I thought I had in my hand grapefruit. I dropped 15 drops down under my tongue, and I realized, oh my gosh, this is geranium! And you guys, I have never tasted anything worse in my life. I don't like the taste or smell of geranium anyway, very often. But to put it under your tongue, 15 drops, you guys, it was one of the worst essential oil experiences I've had ever. So always look at your labels. That's the moral of the story. So many times people want to know, how on earth can I get these essential oils? Connect with the person that brought you here to this call today. They will certainly help you, and they are your mentors. They are there to help you understand what you're doing and how to do it. Paying it forward, use essential oils in your home, be smart, ask questions, join things like this. We're so grateful for every single one of you. Your loyalty reward program pays it back to your pocketbook. So every time you use the loyalty reward program to purchase your oils, you're getting the best deal, anywhere from 35 to 55% extra back that you can use for free products. So thank you so much for joining us again. We're appreciative of all of you. Enjoy hugging and loving on your babies and your families, and have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much, you guys. Bye-bye.